When I came to chiropractic school, I came from a sports performance, sports medicine background, being an athletic trainer and a strength conditioning specialist. And coming into chiropractic school, I didn't want more of the same. As an athletic trainer at the elite level, I was already trained in ART and Graston and K-tape and active release and all these things that you can also dabble in chiropractic school and kind of get drawn away from the adjustment vibe. But when I came, I was very focused on wanting to learn how to adjust. That was the tool that I had seen work magic out in the sports world. I had had an adjustment that had been a very consciousness shifting experience. This one moment on a beach in Santa Barbara, Dr. Rick Fox delivered it. And I knew that I wanted to find those that, if they believed in this thing so much that it could have miraculous outcomes, I didn't even give a shit if that was what I thought was true at the time. I knew that those people must be training their asses off to be able to provide a service like that. So I wanted to find them, seek them out, and train with them. I wanted to shadow them. I wanted to be around those people and see what they're doing. And when I got to school, I didn't see a lot of opportunity for that. And one of the first people I saw that was doing anything was Dr. Brett Jones. And he, being the unique individual he was training at 6 o'clock in the morning with medicine balls and drop tables and doing football drills and push-ups and all this random stuff. And I didn't question it because he was drilling and he was further along the process than I was. And he had this thing called Adjusting Ninjas, which at the time was like a YouTube channel of interviews with the masters in the field. And so for me, it's like, okay, this guy's onto something. And he invited me to train with him. So I started showing up in the mornings. And again, that was kind of the first steps in seeking that art of chiropractic, the adjustment that I knew could be magical, but I also knew it was going to take a lot of work to get there.
Adjusting Ninjas was born out of a void. Like I think most great ideas are, that you notice that there's a gap, you notice that there's a deficiency, you notice that there's a dysfunction, and so from that becomes a strong need of the universe, and you could say a need within the chiropractic profession. And to me, that need was to train the art to match up to what the philosophy says it does, that if you remove interference, that the body heals. And I think that there's something more to that. It's that if you remove interference with a chiropractor that has been fully developed in all ways, in all dimensions of themselves, of their being, so that when they are there, that they are so present that it brings awareness to the disconnect with other people, that they are so connected to themselves that they can help connect others. I can remember actually being in class and getting what you call a thought flash about Adjusting Ninjas, and actually drew in my little journal that I used to keep all throughout school. I had these journals with all my reflections, and I drew this little ninja, and I was playing with a few different names, but then I loved the way the A and the N looked together, and that was like the original flash of, to me, it was about restoring, the training of chiropractic. Because I had seen videos of, from the 20s and 30s and how dedicated these individuals were, and I loved the results that they were getting then, and I wasn't hearing the same stories in the now. And so I was like, I want to restore the love for the art of chiropractic. And then I can remember kind of in that same instance writing out potential workouts, so I've been an athlete all my life. I'd always developed a lot of my own training, so if I was playing football, then I would develop, whatever aspect of my game that I felt I needed more work on, I would develop my own training program for that. And so what I took a look at was, what elements do I think went into it, to be an artful chiropractor. And so I knew that I was going to have some balance skills and power and speed and focus and intention. And so I can remember drafting up my first training workouts and then going to experiment with them in the gym. And then once I felt like I was on to something, started inviting others. And I can actually still remember the first little flyer I made. It was like a little 4x4 square that had a ninja, and it was like super inconspicuous, like, yo, if you wanna train, the art, and show up at this time, like with like no other details, and I handed them out, and I thought, oh man, people are gonna be so into this, and it was like 2 people showed up, right? And so for a while it was by myself, and then it was Lance and Paul and this kid John McCarthy that we all started kind of training as a group a little bit more consistently. Sometimes it was 9:20 breaks, and sometimes it was in the morning. And then there was a little gap there where we were training as a group, but then it came it was like my 7th or 8th quarter where there's a group leaving on a mission trip, and I talked to some of these kids, and they were talking about how they were going to go on this mission trip to learn how to adjust. And I was like, that's the wrong reason to ever go on a mission trip. You go to serve people at the highest level. And I said, if you guys are willing to dedicate and meet me in the morning, because that was the only time I had. I was involved in so many different things that the only way I could train anybody would be that early in the morning. And I'd come from a background where I had a sensei where I learned this martial arts called Kung Chi. And while doing that martial arts, I had to meet him 4 days a week, 6 in the morning, couldn't be late. And so from that dedication of myself and learning daily credences, I realized how important that work was. And so we had a group of 12 that met at 6 in the morning, entire quarter, nobody missed, and it was phenomenal. And from there, it's just grown and continued, and it's been sustainable. And now we have crews at Life West, 3.5 years out now, that they're getting 80 to 100 every quarter. And it's just beautiful to see that there was a need, and it's been verified. I'm sure like Lance can tell you, it's been verified from all these camps that we've gone to that there's been a huge need for this. There's been a huge need to restore some of that original, vigor, I guess you would say, of artistry in the art of chiropractic.